Here's KATC Chief Meteorologist Rob Perillo.
Welcome back. Well, a relatively quiet and hot pattern over the next 4 to 5 days. Then we'll see a change with better rain chances probably later in the weekend going into early next week. And plus, we're going to talk about the tropical season. And it's going to be a busy one by every metric, and that's called a deep tease. We'll get to that in just a bit. First off, though, as we take a look at the weather across Louisiana, a few showers and storms late this afternoon, and some of the leftover debris clouds, the cirrus clouds, still out there in our area. But overall, quiet pattern, and that's the way it's going to go overnight tonight. Again, some clouds here and there, but mostly mid and high clouds, mostly sunny skies as we start our Tuesday, and a relatively quiet pattern. But then as the afternoon progresses, there'll be a few pop-up showers or storms. Rain chance or chance of you getting nailed by one of these showers at about 20% maximum. Again, mostly hit and miss activity, and most of it will miss. Showers diminishing at 7 o'clock and then quieting down certainly by this time tomorrow night. Here's the Euro model, and this is going to be the story all week long. High pressure pretty much sitting over us and expanding a little bit in the upper parts of the atmosphere. So our daily highs will be pushing the mid-90s at least through Saturday. We'll stop it at Saturday, and then by Sunday we start to see moisture coming in from the western Gulf of Mexico, so we'll start to see at least the chance of scattered showers and storms, and maybe even a pretty good soaking as we go into early next week. But it may not last long. This shower activity may get squelched by African dust down the line, and we'll talk more about that in just a bit. So we go into the tropics, deep tropical moisture, northwest Caribbean through the Bahamas, nothing organized. There is a little bit of an area of low pressure here east of the Georgia, South Carolina coastline. This is going to meander northwards, getting captured in an upper level low, but very little chance of this developing. Meanwhile, we go out into the Atlantic basin. It is pretty quiet, but what we do notice, tropical waves already showing up along the equator into tropical convergence. So a little bit farther to the south, but it's unusual to see waves this time of year, which could be a harbinger of activity maybe going into July and August for sure. But in the near term, over the next week to 10 days, lots of African dust spanning across the Atlantic, reaching the Gulf of Mexico about a week from now. In about 10 days, some of that dust will get to the Gulf Coast. That could allow for hazy skies down the line, so we'll watch that. Question is, how long is this African dust going to last? And by the way, over here by Africa, we've been watching the rainfall trends, and usually it's dry here going into June, July. Well, it's been wetter than normal, about 200% of normal for wetness and tropical systems coming off that African coastline, so that does not bode well for the storms to come down the line. So here's the hurricane season forecast for this year. Normal activity, this white line right here, high activity right here, and these are all the hurricane forecasts, all the different entities, universities and different weather companies that make the hurricane forecast. So you can see well above normal. The average on these forecasts, about 9 hurricanes, 3 to 5 maybe major, so we'll be watching that down the line. And you got to look back at a couple of analog years. 1995, we had a lot of storms, 11 hurricanes, 5 majors, but none of them hit the United States as a major storm. But then you look at 2005, where we had 14 hurricanes, 7 of which majors, and look at these thick lines. Those are all major hurricane hits. That's including Dennis, Rita, Katrina, and Wilma. So we can't tell you where they're going to go, but we can tell you it's going to get busy. And got to remember, 86% of the season comes after July, so it's going to be 8 weeks before we see that manifestation. 71 tonight, so nice and quiet. Enjoy the next 6 to 8 weeks that we have. 92 the high tomorrow, rain chance at 20%. And as we move down the line, there's your forecast, pushing the mid-90s next couple of days, and overnight lows in the upper 60s to lower 70s, and there those rain chances perking up Sunday, Monday.